Hey, it's Nikki.
And it's Bree.
And we're
Late to the Party.
A weekly podcast about the film, fashion, and pop culture moments that shaped us into the weirdos that we are. And today we are discussing Challengers. We watched Challengers a couple days ago.
Yes, we went to the theater and
Which the best theater experience I've had in a really long time.
Oh, really?
Like, this is the first time where I've been texting people, like, you gotta see Challengers. Have you not seen Challengers yet? You gotta see it. It was the first time in a long time where I didn't want to take a bathroom break.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my God, I'm on the edge of my seat the whole entire time. I don't know. I'm Challengers obsessed.
No, I loved it. I was surprised. Like, it really held my attention. I also did not want to take a bathroom break.
That's the litmus test of a good film, is if you're willing to sacrifice a couple minutes of like screen time for a bathroom break.
Totally. Yeah, no, it was cool. I didn't know tennis could be so fun.
I know. So what's your experience with tennis? Because I don't personally know anything about tennis except cute athleisure wear and Serena and Venus Williams. I mean, I played a lot of Wii Sports as a child.
Yeah.
Wii Tennis.
Tennis was the best. I'm trying to think what other sports they had, like other than bowling and tennis.
Wii Bowling, Wii Tennis, Wii
Was
Golf.
Oh, the golf.
Baseball.
Oh, yeah,
had
the
it all.
baseball. I actually liked the baseball one.
Same. But my favorite was tennis.
Yeah. Playing against the little angry, were they Mii's?
Yeah, they were Mii's. M-I-I. Like
Yeah.
we.
Yeah.
W-I-I. Which I love the idea of, like, remember back in the day when there'd be video games that coincide with a movie release?
Mm-hmm.
Which I know this is like half art house film, half like bigger film. So it wouldn't really fit. But I love the idea in this like parallel universe of like Zendaya, the Mii, and Josh Connor, Mii.
Yeah.
Just like tennising.
Oh, I want that game so bad. I want to play as Tashi. I want to be the mastermind.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So you could play Tashi when she's like tennis prodigy,
Mm-hmm.
and then spoiler alert, post knee injury Tashi.
Yes. Maybe it could be like a mix of like just like hardcore, like the Wii Sports kind of tennis, and then like choose your own adventure, kind of change the outcome.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
you
a
know.
Sims mixed with Wii Sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be fun.
You know what's wild about tennis? The noises.
Yeah.
It is wild that it's like, you know, when you're in like a Pilates or a yoga class,
Yes.
and there's one person that's just like,
Yeah.
but it's like the whole entire game. People are just like,
As Art goes. Art had the funniest grunts in that like match at the end.
Which
Was it the end? I don't know. One of the matches.
I mean,
I can't remember
Yeah.
because it mixes.
it
Like,
all
time
mixes.
just-
All I hear is like the match point song and
Yeah.
just tennis. It's all I live and breathe now. But yeah, so Challengers is a romantic sports drama directed by Luca Guadagnino. It follows a professional tennis champion played by Mike Feist, who plots a comeback with the help of his wife Zendaya, a former tennis prodigy who retired after an injury, as he goes up against another player played by Josh O'Connor, who also happens to be his former best friend and former lover. Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Lover in quotation marks.
Yeah. What a film. This love triangle is crazy.
This film has a lot of, it's about sex, it's about power, it's about tennis.
It's about food, sexual innuendo.
Yes, lots of food.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Luca Guadagnino's previous work?
Just Call Me By Your Name. I know he's done other stuff though, but I feel like Call Me By Your Name's like one of his most known
Definitely.
films. And I remember I saw that with you in the
Yes.
theaters when it came out. It was really good.
I love Call Me By Your Name. And it's funny you mention like food in Luca Guadagnino films, because the iconic peach scene in Call Me By Your Name,
Yeah.
it rivals the churro scene in Challengers.
It does. I love the churro scene.
How would you describe the churro scene?
So Art and Patrick are just hanging out. They're at the Stanford dining hall. And then Patrick, like, it's like a close-up shot. So there's like this tension already kind of built. and they're just like kind of looking at each other really close. And I think they're talking about Tashi at the time. And this is when Patrick's dating her, I think.
Yes. So rewind it back for a second. So Tashi Duncan, played by Zendaya, is this tennis prodigy, kind of think like a Serena Williams figure, who's really into tennis, really great at it. But at a party, she meets friends and they like work together. They're like they're tennis rivals, but they're also like in a, I don't know anything about tennis.
Like a friendly,
but they're also like a team. They're like a duo. They're the Fire and Ice.
Oh, those two, yes.
Art and Patrick are Fire and Ice.
Love that
But
nickname.
they meet Tashi at this party and there's a threesome scene, or like in quotations. But
yeah, they totally faked us out because there's no, like, it's not that crazy, but it is still like really sexy.
It is the sexiest scene I think I've seen in film in the last decade.
Yeah, and definitely in a theater too.
Definitely. Very Call Me By Your Name and Challengers. Very sexy.
Yeah.
Luca Guadagnino knows how to make a sexy film.
He does.
But anyways, so she makes like a statement that whoever wins that championship will get her number.
Yeah.
And Patrick wins because he is the better tennis player, arguably. And they start dating. Anyways.
Yes. And then like fast forward, Art kind of asks about it. He's like, how's it going with Tashi? But I forget what the conversation really is. All I remember is Patrick has a churro and he's like kind of talking with it. And then like he points it towards Art and he takes like a bite. But it's kind of sexy.
It is. And that was improvised.
It was. Yeah.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, there's a couple scenes that are like that scene was improvised, and then I guess Art and Patrick kissing was also improvised. So
love to see that.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the peach too.
Oh yeah.
Like in Call Me By Your Name. A lot of people were trying to find references in this movie with the peach because I guess peaches are there a couple times and I didn't even notice.
I did not notice. I noticed bananas. There's something about Luca Guadagnino's films and food.
Definitely, right?
Yeah. Like I remember walking out of the theater seeing Challengers with you and you were like, something about food.
Yeah, I really picked up. I'm like, there's a focus on using food as like maybe a metaphor or something.
Yeah. What do you think it is?
I don't know. I don't know if it's like a power play of sorts or just like a nod. Like, I mean, banana. I mean, hello.
Yeah, you think it's like an
innuendo, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so, but the use of food in his films it has to be more.
It's like symbolic.
Yeah.
Like I think the peach was supposed to be like forbidden fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, I don't know. I don't know if the banana, I don't exactly know what it means.
I feel like the churro is a transition of power.
Yeah. Oh, and Art's trying to like take the power
back from Patrick.
That makes sense. And he does.
Because he ends up getting Tashi.
And then he almost takes the power from Art when he's eating the banana.
Yeah.
He kind of has the power at that he does have the power, really, because I don't know if this is fast forwarding. I don't know if we need to
it's okay. It's
plot
okay.
by plot. Like,
we really don't. Also, we've only seen this movie one time.
I know.
But no, you need, if anyone's listening and it's like, oh, I haven't seen Challengers, pause. Go see Challengers.
Yeah.
And then
report back.
This is like when you go to the movies and after the movies you go to like a bar or a restaurant with your friends.
And then you talk. I actually haven't seen a movie like that in a while where I've wanted to.
Challengers is the movie. Like I'm going to see it later on this week.
Are you really?
Yeah. I'm ready to just take everyone I know.
That's awesome.
I'm obsessed. I'm into tennis core now. I'm Patrick pilled. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah. Gonna get you an I Told You shirt.
Loewe, they're selling them for like $400.
You're going to get the $400 t-shirt.
I might. No, I'm just kidding.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. What were you? Oh, so what were you saying?
Oh, just like I think when Patrick takes a bite of the banana, he has the power because there's a point in the film where, because Tashi kind of plays with these boys. She can manipulate them if she wants to.
Yeah.
Because they just want her attention, maybe?
Well, Tashi loves tennis.
She does.
Art and Patrick love Tashi.
Mm-hmm.
Art and Patrick love each other. Art and Patrick love tennis.
They also love tennis, yeah.
But there is a point in the film later on when Art's like, I'm going to quit tennis no matter if I win this match or not.
Mm-hmm.
And will you still love me? That's what he asked Tashi.
Yeah.
And Tashi says, I'm not Jesus.
She said no.
And Art, to this effect, basically says, yes, you are.
He does.
So
he's like, you're Jesus to me.
yeah.
Which I'm like, okay. I mean, it's Zendaya. I get it.
I totally get it. I'm in love with Zendaya. I'm in love with Josh O'Connor and Mike Feist.
Yeah.
I'm in love with all of them.
You want to be part of their throuple?
I get it. I get thruples now.
Yeah.
Also, that would solve challengers. The whole entire issue that these characters have, they'd be a thriving thruple.
Yes. Why can't they just be a throuple? And do you think they'd get a brand sponsorship still? Like,
I don't. The whole throughout this whole film, there's this huge like billboard on a side of like a building where it's like Tashi and Art, and it says challengers.
Yeah.
But it needs to have all three. Power thruple.
Yeah. I think that'd be hot. I don't know. Why can't they? Yeah.
Which apparently Challengers is based on like a couple relationships real life tennis players have had with one another.
No. Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was going to say who, but I don't know any tennis players.
Yeah,
well,
I don't know any tennis players
like
either.
just Venus and Serena. That's all I know.
Yeah. Different story.
Yeah.
But two boys who were her besties.
Ah.
Yeah, semi-homoerotic. Probably even more so than Art and Patrick, to be honest. But
yeah,
but I don't know all the details. But also, like Tashi Duncan's like a child prodigy, a tennis, goddess who has like these Adidas like sponsorships and everything before she's 18.
Yeah,
and that's very much like a Serena Williams or like any young athlete.
Yeah.
I think this is a really interesting world to dive into because I don't know anything about tennis.
Same. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the tennis of it all?
I mean, I feel like I've learned some things about tennis.
Love.
Yeah, and like tennis is, well, I guess I don't know. The thing that stuck with me is just what Tashi said about tennis and how like when you're playing it, you're only really playing tennis for like a few seconds, like 10 or 15.
It's like 10 seconds of tennis. And the rest is the relationship you have with the player. Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Because I'm like, what? Tennis is tennis. You're just hitting a ball. I don't know. But there's a lot of passion, which I would assume there would be. But like,
I think this movie does a great job of that. I mean, you're talking about, tennis, 10 seconds of tennis, the rest of relationship. And tennis is that back and forth, that exchange of power, exchange of passion. Yeah.
All those times that we've played air hockey. Is that the same energy? You know what I mean? Like don't you think?
I think
similar.
So.
We played air hockey.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Where's the Luca Guadagnino film about air hockey and the sexual tension at the Dave and Buster's?
It can get intense when you want to win.
Oh, truly, Brie. The most, what's really sexy? Being competitive.
No, it is.
There's something about, the reason why I love Josh O'Connor's Patrick so much is because he's so passionate.
He's like way more competitive, I think. Well, yeah. I mean, he's more outwardly competitive than Art, at least.
He initiates, which is very sexy.
Yeah.
He initiates with Zendaya's character right off the bat, even though Art is pining for her, which is why he's not a total victim. He's just like, I'm gonna steal your girl just by being quiet.
Yeah. He's waiting for him to fuck up. Like waiting for Patrick to fuck up.
But yeah, Patrick just has that. He's an initiator.
Yeah.
He knows what he wants and he goes and gets it. And same for Tashi, because Tashi does get like a sports injury and can't play tennis anymore. But then she's like, I can manipulate this white boy.
Yeah.
And she makes Art a successful tennis player by being his coach.
True.
She gets to rock her Chanel espadrilles and her bob.
I love her bob. It looks so chic.
there's such a hair journey. I love that in the film, which I feel like we need to talk about.
Yeah. Does she start out with long hair?
She starts with like really long hair.
And she wears it in this ponytail a lot when she's playing tennis, like a braided pony.
Like a Maria Sharapova, like stereotypical tennis player.
Mm-hmm.
But as the film goes on, because the film goes between, it spans 13 years time, but present day 2019, and then it goes back like 12, 13 years. So we're playing with different times.
I loved that aspect too. Just, it kept me engaged.
Same.
It's like a tennis ball going back and forth.
Truly, the whole entire time, we were the ball.
Yeah.
The actors in the film was the racket.
I know. I don't know if that's like ADHD or something, but I like it.
No, I loved it too. I didn't realize, I was reading some reviews and they were saying it was a really long film.
What?
It flew by to me.
No, it flew by.
It could have been longer. I could have stayed in Challenger World forever.
Yeah, they could have made it longer. And I don't say that about a lot of films.
Same. Every film nowadays is way too long.
Didn't you say it's over 2 hours?
Yeah, apparently. To me, it felt like an hour and a half.
Same.
It was perfect. But like back to the hair journey. There's a hair journey, but there's also a clothing journey throughout the whole film, like between the characters.
Yes.
Like we were talking about, J.W. Anderson did the costume design, who is the creative director of Loewe, which is why we see all of the Zendaya in Law Roach looks on the red carpet.
Love it.
But throughout the whole film, so what was really interesting is the use of the clothes to tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you picked up on like when Tashi is kind of meeting Patrick to kind of cheat with him, essentially.
Yeah.
She's in Art's shirt and the grandmother diamond ring.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple scenes where like Patrick is wearing Art's shirt or Art's wearing Patrick's shirt.
I feel like I noticed when Tashi was wearing like one of the boys' shirts, but I didn't notice them wearing each other's shirts.
There's at least one point where they, like one of them wears the other shirt.
Yeah. I kind of want to just see it again just to, I feel like I missed like a little, like an Easter egg of sorts.
It's like so many layers.
Yeah.
They're like an onion. I just want
This movie's like an onion.
Yeah. Even the I Told You shirt swaps.
No, I appreciated the I Told You shirt. That was cool.
I know. And apparently the I Told You shirt was based on, so J.W. Anderson based Patrick's character, like his style, off of JFK Jr. And his street style in New York in the 90s. And one of the like paparazzi shots of JFK Jr. is in this I Told You shirt. So that's the inspiration.
That's really fun.
I love that element because I didn't think about it being inspired by John at all, or Patrick being inspired.
Yeah, I didn't think about him as a fashion icon.
But he is.
He is.
He is. And Patrick, I think that it's interesting to use fashion to tell the story and to tell so much about the character without saying a word.
It is, especially if they're wearing each other's clothes. It's like, what is that saying?
Yeah. Or even the fact that Patrick doesn't have a sponsor. He's kind of washed up as a tennis player, but he wears mismatch different branded clothes or no real brands
like
at all.
Yeah.
Like kind of looking like boxer shorts at one point, but he has that old money wallet.
That's so crazy.
And to juxtapose that with Art, who's head to toe in sponsored brands, head to toe in Unique Glow for like half the film.
Right.
What do you think that says about the characters?
I mean, I remember thinking Patrick had like his wallet looked nice, but I didn't really think that deeply at the time. But I know Tashi mentions like, oh yeah, you can just go to your parents and ask for money or something. But he's like, nah, I'd rather just ask the lady at the tennis challenger for half of her Dunkin' sandwich.
Or to go on a Tinder date for room and board.
Yeah, what the heck? Like, what in the world?
Oh my God, I saw a TikTok from the point of view of one of the Tinder dates. This person was like, oh, I met this guy. He's in this tennis match. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's great.
Could you imagine?
I felt bad for that girl. I was like, oh no.
You do what you gotta do.
I guess.
I don't, there's like maybe because he didn't really have to struggle and he knows he can fall back on things, But there's that level of whimsy in Patrick.
He has so much whimsy. Yeah, he's like riding on the seat of his pants.
Yeah.
Do you think Art came from a poor background or just
I don't know.
not as wealthy?
Poor, but probably not as wealthy. I think that they have different, like, not different morals, but they're just very different people.
Yeah. Well, they're fire and ice.
Yeah. And, you know, I wouldn't say like Art's a villain or a bad person.
No.
But he's more calculated. And Patrick's definitely like he's that fire to that ice. So he is riding by the seat of his pants. He is fueled by emotions, but also a little more genuine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Art's sneaky.
He ultimately just wants a mommy too. Like Tashi's kind of his mommy.
There's some parts where I'm like, oh, that's a little cringe, Art. That's not really that attractive, you know? Did he say like, hold me?
He did. I don't know. This really, this is like not nice. This is the opposite of nice guy propaganda.
I know.
Is it bad that the whole time I was like, why can't you, Art, just get over it and
get
play
it together?
tennis?
Yeah.
And then the scene where Zendaya goes to hook up with Patrick and to tell Patrick to throw the game so Art can win.
Mm-hmm.
And like ultimately ends up sleeping with him. And you see Zendaya coming back and Art, she like doesn't know where he is and he's with their daughter sleeping.
Yeah. And
it's supposed to be like, oh, you know, a nice sweet moment. And I'm like, that little bitch, you know? Like, I'm like, I don't know why. I just was like, there is no fire to Art, which I think is missing. It doesn't matter if like good or bad morally. It's that like,
he's missing the fire, the passion. Actually, yeah, I suppose he is the whole time. The only time we really see it is at the very end when he hits that ball over the net, like in the air. That was cool.
And that's after
he finds out Patrick has slept with his wife because they did that little tennis ball to the racket.
That's my favorite thing. I knew that's one of those scenes in a film because they set it up early on.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first time that, you know, Art's like, you gotta let me know if you've slept with Tashi or not. Just stick the tennis ball in the middle of like the bottom part of the racket.
Yeah, because Patrick's like, I'm not gonna tell you. And he's like, you have to say it. Just
show me.
Just show me.
And then him doing it at the very end at the final match.
Yeah.
Just like sets the world back in order.
Yeah. I love it. I love the callback.
I wanted to jump out of my seat and just like clap my hands, you know?
Yeah. No, it was well done. I like that scene had like a reason.
Definitely. This is a really tight screenplay.
It is. It's perfect. And the choreography, did you know they didn't use real tennis balls?
They didn't?
No. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, I'm like, maybe it's more impressive that they didn't because they did like 6 weeks of training and the choreography had to be so tight to make it look realistic. So imagine reacting like from maybe your partner hitting a fake tennis ball.
And to create that like kinetic energy, they must have played a lot of Wii Sports.
Yeah.
Or channeled it. You know what I mean? Like
Zendaya was just channeling her me.
Yes. No, but I love that. I love the shots of that final match. Like one moment you're the ball. One moment
I loved being the ball.
You're like, I saw behind the scenes of Luca Guadagnino like filming from like up.
Oh yeah, because it does a lot of zooming. I've noticed like this film like has like some dramatic zoom out and zoom in, which could be distracting. Like in some films, you know, like I feel like it was done perfectly because then that music, it would be always when that music would play, you know, like the score, the like,
which we got to talk about the music.
Oh yeah.
It was composed by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, who are the guys from Nine Inch Nails, but also Social Network, Gone Girl, just a plethora of movies. They did the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the one that came out last year.
Really?
With Iowa Debris, yeah.
What?
But I don't, they just added something so cool to the music because it is like house.
Yes.
Yeah, this score rivaled Saltburn for sure. And it's the same time period, pretty much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I love the Hot in Here needle drop.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So like Timothy Chalamet in Call Me by Your Name had that dance moment
Mm-hmm.
that, swept the internet and the nation by storm. And this one has Zendaya dancing to Hot in Here. Yeah.
It goes on for a while too. I'm like, okay, she's just kind of doing her thing.
As the boys are mesmerized.
Yeah.
Which I would be too.
Right. And it's Hot in Here playing. So
I wonder what song, because in like movies or music videos, how it's not
always the song. Yeah. Are they listening to something else?
What song do you think they're listening to?
I don't know. Yeah. It has to be something of a similar beat though, you would think.
It's just
It's like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
It makes me think of like a Taylor Swift music video where you just hear the metronome.
Yeah.
Like, because they're like super secretive. Bop into metronome.
I thought the Stanford Dining Hall had some bops.
Yes. They were playing, what was it? Smile by Lily Allen?
Yes. And then they were also playing, oh gosh, hold on. I keep wanting to say Mary J. Blige, but I don't think it is. I think it was something else. Was it Hit 'Em Up Style?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was Hit 'Em Up Style.
Whoever sings that.
Yeah.
But I loved like the faint callbacks to a time period, just like through the speakers. It also sounded like the way they did the music was like it was faint. Like you were in one of those YouTube videos.
Yeah. You're like in the cafeteria. A song's playing in another room.
Yeah,
Kinda.
it was very songs playing in another room.
I loved that.
I did too.
I'm like, I want to hang out at the Stanford Dining Hall. Someone make a YouTube video just of those.
You got
Like
to.
that song. It's
That's
like
you.
Yeah, it could be me, Art and Patrick eating the churro is like in the background.
Yes.
It's like frozen in time.
I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, you know what? Okay. We have to discuss the scene.
Which one?
The scene. The
sexiest scene?
The sexiest scene. The scene that like everyone that thinks of challengers is gonna think of.
Yeah. The threesome tennis scene.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's talk about it.
Well, the scene starts pretty early on in the film, which I didn't expect.
Yeah, no, I
thought they'd make us wait for it.
I thought so too. I'm glad that this film kind of subverted my expectations a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I assumed that because of the trailer, we see, in the trailer, it's all about the scene where they're on the bed and making out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of assumed that this is either going to happen a couple times or this is going to be like the climax of the film or something that's a real big,
like a lead up. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not really, it's the start of
it's the opposite.
Everything.
Yeah. No, I like that it does that.
Yeah. And it's like starts with Tashi, because they're like kind of talking about just innocuous things. And, she initiates the going on the bed. And Patrick comes up first. And
she does kind of initiate the whole thing. Like the boys were just kind of like, yeah, come on over. Wink. And then she's like, all right, bet. I don't think they thought she was going to actually show up. And they're kind of like, oh shit. And she just kind of takes the lead, which I think is interesting.
Definitely. And she starts making out with Patrick. And then she starts making out with Art. And then Patrick again. And then all like both of them and then, at the same time.
How do you make out with two people at once? Like that just is kind of crazy, right?
I mean, call me green, but I've never done that before. But
it just looks like
I kind of
difficult.
I don't know. I'm intrigued.
You're like,
I'm into this.
You're like, I want to try. I mean, yeah.
It seemed like a good time.
Yeah, no, it makes sense in the movie. Like,
and Zendaya is like a siren, like a mermaid siren, because there's a point where she pulls back, and it's Art and Patrick just making out.
Yeah,
hot.
It was very hot.
Yeah, but what are your thoughts on the scene?
I mean, I thought it was interesting that it just ended there, because she was like, okay, I guess I'm a homewrecker, so I'm leaving. And they're like, no.
She's like, I don't want to be a homewrecker.
Yeah, she said, I don't want to be, but
she inevitably is.
Yeah, she becomes one.
But what home is she wrecking? Because even when she later on in the movie sleeps with Patrick, she's not really wrecking her home.
No?
I think she's already wrecked the most important relationship in these two men's lives.
Patrick and Art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just, I don't think it's just like, oh, they're gay or they're bisexual, like queer, whatever. I do think that there is this ambiguity in the spectrum of queerness and sexuality, and I think Patrick and Art just have that love and bond for one another. So wherever even if they didn't act on their sexual feelings, it is that idea of being a homewrecker because they're each other's true loves.
Yeah. How can you separate fire and ice?
I know.
Yeah, that part did make me sad that their friendship kind of falls apart because they looked like they were like fire together.
Yeah. Like together they were just unstoppable.
Yeah. How come they couldn't make it to is there teams tennis? Is that a real thing? Or is it always just one-on-one? I don't know. It didn't really explain everything about tennis.
No, but even at the end, that exchange between Art and Patrick, even with Tashi in the middle, just like watching back and forth, I don't know. There's something about that exchange of energy.
Yeah, like you mean when Art hit the ball and he wins, but he's kind of gonna like fall, so Patrick catches him, and then they actually just hug.
Yeah,
that got me. That almost got me good in the feels. So I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh,
it really does. Like this film does a great job of talking about how complicated interpersonal relationships are.
Yeah,
but also feelings and tension, and you having tension with someone doesn't automatically mean sexual, but sometimes it does. And there's this weird, like everything's connected and everything's energy and everything is sex and everything is power and everything is tennis
and food.
Yeah,
I still think there's something to at least Luca Guadagnino's style. I want to keep seeing these food innuendos.
I love it. And can we talk about his directing style?
Yeah, he makes the actors just do like one or two takes and just keeps it very like fresh, and he's like, let's keep rolling, you know.
And you can totally tell.
Yeah, like
there is, speaking back to that churro scene, you can feel that tension of, as an actor, you can feel those first couple takes. You know what I mean? Like you still have those butterflies in your stomach. You have this like energy that's bubbling still. Like, I think it's fascinating that he only does a couple takes versus like a David Fincher who does like 50 to 100 takes of something.
That sounds horrible.
But it's to get the actor to do it so many times that it becomes muscle memory, and you're just doing it so naturally. But it's like the exact opposite of that. If you want that tension, only doing it a couple times and having that like you only have a couple takes. So I'm going to bite the churro.
Right. You're bringing your A game. You're going to do the thing.
And you're on your impulsive energy. You're basing it off of these like
more feelings.
Nerves.
Yeah. Just in the moment.
Like bubbling to the surface. That's fascinating.
No, I love his directing style. And just, I don't know, aesthetically too. Like his films, just, they're very pretty. Yeah.
So beautiful. And I mean, it's not just the directing, like the screenplay is so fucking tight. And the actors talk about A game.
Yeah. What do you think of the actors? Like, what do you think of Mike Feist? Mike Feist? How do you say it?
I think it's Feist.
Mike Feist.
I love Mike Feist. I've never seen him in anything. I have not seen the new West Side Story.
No.
And I've not seen Dear Evan Hansen. But I love him. I love him already.
I know. He's charmed me.
And I love Josh O'Connor. Obviously. And I love Zendaya.
Duh.
Zendaya just keeps impressing me. And the fact that she produced Challengers as well.
I keep forgetting that she also produced.
Yeah. What do you think of the actors?
Well, obviously I love Zendaya. Like I think everyone already knows.
I know. If there's anything we talk about enough is that we love Zendaya.
Yeah. I think literally the last episode that we had, we talked about her too. So, but yeah, I mean, I was charmed by the boys. I don't know. I think Josh O'Connor is really cute. He has like that charming something about his face, like his eyes.
He's very charming.
I don't know. But same with Mike. I can't say his name. Feist?
I think it's Feist. What you were saying, he looks like John Mulaney.
I think he looks like John Mulaney, and I'm not the only one who thinks so. A lot of people on the internet agree.
What do we? That meme that has Mike Feist, one of like a candid from when he attended the Met Gala this past year that I sent you.
Yeah. And they're like, he looks like a John Mulaney.
If he didn't kick the drug habit.
Yeah.
And dyed his hair blonde. Which I think he looks like Stuart Little.
Nikki.
I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I'm saying both of these men look like Josh O'Connor kind of resembles the rat from Flushed Away in the best way, mixed with like Ratatouille.
Okay. A little Remy.
A little Remy
And a little that other guy. I mean, that rat is kind of cute, whoever that animated rat is.
He is.
He's got riz.
Low-key into rodents in animated films.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike Feist looks like Stuart Little. I think it's a sleigh.
I mean, Stuart Little is kind of cute.
I think Stuart Little is very cute.
Yeah.
Not to get all weird, but
we're really attracted to rats.
Rat Boy Summer.
Yeah. I think it will be Rat Boy Summer and Racket Boy Summer.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It is Racket Boy Summer.
It's time to break your rackets on the court.
Yes.
I love seeing that, by the way. Just, it makes me want to like grab a tennis racket and just
that seems so
break it.
Fun.
It seems cathartic.
It does. It's like everything that we do now gonna just be Challengers coded.
I think so. Yeah,
we're working on a laptop like Zendaya in Challengers.
Yeah.
We break a racket like Josh O'Connor in Challengers.
I think we should live our lives like we're playing tennis.
Should.
With passion.
The love.
Mm-hmm.
But only 10 seconds of tennis.
Right.
The rest is a relationship.
Period.
Yes. It does remind me, when we're talking about character motivations, it reminds me of this Oscar Wilde quote where it says everything is about sex except for sex, which is about power.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of power dynamics in this movie.
And which almost makes any, like when Tashi sleeps with Patrick, not like null and void, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. Not saying I'm pro cheating, but it doesn't feel that way. But then when like every other little interaction feels like so much more, if that makes sense.
I mean, we see her kind of cheat already when they're engaged that one time. I don't know, but it doesn't happen all the time. It's weird. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on Tashi's actions sometimes.
Yeah.
She's like morally questionable at times, but I also think that's interesting. So
Definitely.
I like to see it. I'm not like, it's very interesting to see Zendaya in a role like this.
I think it's so fascinating too, because the other role she's really known for is playing Rue in Euphoria.
Right.
Which is a very big departure from her as like a Disney Channel star. She's like a drug addict 17-year-old playing younger. Mm-hmm. And then in this film, she's playing older.
So crazy.
Doesn't happen because me, myself included,
I did think, I was
so
like,
ageist.
Like, she's aging herself? That's weird. But also I'm like, okay. I mean, she's acting. I get it. It's a story they're telling.
Well, she's choosing and producing and putting herself in very interesting roles where it is about the role. And everything in this film, it's just firing on all cylinders and like so interconnected, whether it's the fashion and the costume design telling a story and talking about who the characters are and how they are. And then, the characters themselves and the way it's shot, the use of food, everything.
Yeah, everything. No, I thought this was a perfect film. I love seeing Zendaya play complicated characters. I don't know. I think she's capable of so much. So it's fun to see her like really change herself and get into a character that seems completely different than, anything. Yeah.
But I wonder if, and I would love to be in the same room of Zendaya and like ask her, because I wonder if there is that element of Zendaya that can relate to Tashi as just a child actor and a person growing up in the business. Like Tashi is a tennis prodigy and, Zendaya, is a child star. But that level of ambition at a really early age.
Do you think like a lot of what motivates her is that ambition? Like maybe it's not that, like, yeah, maybe she is attracted to Patrick and stuff, but maybe it's more of a transaction of sorts or like a one up because has more power really than he does. In the tennis world, she's more well known. She's kind of telling him what to do.
I think she's trying to fill a void.
Yeah,
because
maybe
after
that too.
Yeah, because after Tashi's injury as, like a 20-year-old, you know, her love is tennis.
Yeah, that's like her life.
Yeah, this is not about, like, Art and Patrick have a genuine love for each other.
Mm.
And Tashi has a genuine love for tennis.
Yeah, she's like how Carrie Bradshaw loves New York City.
Yeah.
Tashi loves tennis.
She is all about tennis. And that idea of being like, you can't do what you love anymore.
I hate, like, anytime that happens in a film, it really gets me. I don't know why. Like, someone could like die on the screen. I'm like, oh, that's pretty sad. But then I'm like, oh no, they took away their one like the thing they want to do.
Their dreams. Yeah.
I'm like,
It is crazy. That's a very interesting thing to think about, how all the relationships are interwoven. But Tashi's love for tennis is pretty much the only thing that's like 100% clear.
Yeah, that's what keeps her going, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, because like with Art, maybe she is missing something, some type of excitement, or
I mean, can you imagine spending your whole entire childhood and life up until a certain point about tennis,
mm-hmm.
and then, you know, you can't play it anymore? And obviously she's Art's manager,
mm-hmm.
but even her relationship with Art and with her child, there's this lack of connection.
Like, yeah, I noticed that even with her child, she's just kind of like, all right, like mommy's busy. But it's also like I don't know if she really would. I get that she has things to do. She's like girl bossing and stuff. But then there's times where she doesn't have to be, and she still has this. There's something that you can just sense this, like a wall of sorts.
Mm-hmm. And the only time she's locked in is with tennis
mm-hmm.
or with Patrick.
That's true. Yeah,
about tennis.
But it has to be. Yeah, it can't just be.
That's the connecting tissue, is tennis.
Yeah. If he was not a tennis player, it wouldn't matter.
Mm.
He wouldn't matter to her.
No. Could you imagine being so in love with something?
I mean, I like art. In photography. I don't know if I'm that hardcore though.
Not that you have to be. Not that any one person has to be.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. Is it good to be? But also with sports, that's a little different. It's like your body goes through a lot. You're training, you know, I think she even said something like, I don't want all my skills just to be hitting a racket or hitting a ball with a racket or something. Doesn't she say something like that? Like, I want to go to college, learn a skill. But then like towards the end or something, she says like, this is all I know how to do is tennis.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think when she first makes that statement, it's when she first meets Art and Patrick. And Patrick is telling Art like, oh, this is who Tashi Duncan is. She's super successful. She's like a tennis prodigy. She's only 18. And when they get to talk to her, initiated by Patrick, he like asks her about, why are you going to Stanford
mm-hmm.
when you're gonna go pro? You know, and she's like, I don't want to, you know, just be tennis. But it's after the injury.
Yeah.
That something inside of her kind of shifts.
She clings on to the tennis.
Yeah. And she clings on to Art.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's also the dynamic between them.
Well, because he also wanted her to coach him.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick did not. He was like, I don't need your advice.
Well, like that scene, that really sexy scene, maybe arguably sexier than the makeout session scene, is when they're at Tashi's dorm, her and Patrick.
That was sexy.
And she's like, you're not in my fan club. And basically, he's just pushing back at her because she's just assuming that his world revolves around her, and they're both very arrogant individuals.
I think maybe they're a lot alike or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and Patrick doesn't back down to her.
Mm-hmm.
And
it is interesting to see their dynamic versus like her and Art, you know?
Yeah, let's unpack that a second. What are your thoughts on Tashi's dynamic with the boys?
I think I don't know. I don't know if one dynamic's better than the other. They're just like different. Like, I think her relationship with Patrick, like that maybe brings out a different side of her, like a more competitive side, more fire maybe,
mm-hmm.
because of that passion for tennis. But it's interesting because she's like, you don't know how to play tennis. Like, I think she tells Patrick, like, he doesn't know how to play tennis.
It's definitely, I think, to get a rise out of him as well. Or
yeah,
to make herself feel better. I think that's what's so phenomenal about these actors is you can tell that there's obviously character motivation, but that they're embodying these characters in like complex layers. Because on one end, it does seem like Tashi is just dissing him.
Yeah.
She's like Kendrick Lamar, just going full in.
Uh-huh.
But there is also that element too of like, is she just saying that? Because it's this exchange.
Is it to get a rise out of him? Yeah.
Like when there's like this windstorm that they meet up in Patrick's car.
That was a cool scene too.
And she's basically like saying to throw the game and let Art win. And, you know, she's calling him a bunch of names. She spits in his face.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they start, you know.
Maybe he likes that, like,
yeah,
being talked down to or something. I don't know.
Well, and he doesn't back down to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he does say he's going to throw the game. But basically, he doesn't, like, cower.
Right.
And then the scene before that, when Art's telling her that he's going to quit tennis and just to hold me,
mm-hmm.
he's in a position where she's Jesus and he's like begging her. And then flash to the next scene with her and Patrick of both.
Yeah.
Just
maybe she doesn't want to be on the pedestal, but she kind of put herself on the pedestal.
Yeah, she wants
so maybe
both.
she does. I don't know. Yeah, she wants both. She wants both.
Which I get.
Yeah.
I totally get. And we don't have to like figure it out. I love seeing the mess.
Yeah. This movie is messy.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting.
People are messy.
People are messy.
Relationships are messy. Whether they're romantic or not, everything's messy. Emotions are messy.
Yeah. I just love that they show it all. Like, I love how everything leads up to like one match. And it's so interesting that it's not like the US Open or something. I thought it would be. It's just, well, I guess that's why it's called Challengers. But it's that
New Providence Challengers.
Yeah.
It's like one step before or something to that effect.
Yeah. It's like, is it fair to say a trial or like maybe not like I don't know. I don't follow sports a lot, so I don't know what the terms are.
No idea. But there's a lot riding on this.
There's a lot.
But it's
a lot of ego involved.
Totally.
Everyone's ego.
Everyone. It's only 10% tennis, and the rest is the relationship on the court between Art and Patrick, between them and Tashi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's all about that. So back to fashion for a second. Can we talk about Zendaya's press cycle looks? Because I've been obsessed. So Zendaya didn't invent it. Her and Law Roach didn't invent method dressing.
Mm.
And you know, Margot Robbie did it during the press cycle for Barbie, which extended until like last month because of the Oscars and to some degree. But Zendaya and Law Roach on the Challengers press tour have just like hit it.
You're gonna say out of the park, were you?
Yeah. Hit it over the net.
Over the net.
Scored a touchdown, you know?
Scored a touchdown. I love it. What was your favorite look from the press cycle of Challengers?
Hands down, the Loewe tennis ball heels.
The tennis ball heels.
Yeah. I believe it was at a press call in Sydney, but Zendaya has the bob hair that she dyed blonder, and she just has like a simple tennis outfit, but those heels with the tennis balls.
I love those heels.
Just so Loewe, but also like peak method dressing, and just what I think the box office success of Challengers, I think partially has to be those tennis ball heels.
I think so. Anytime she wears anything tennis related, I think it adds to the intrigue. Like before seeing this movie, I just thought to myself, ooh, I just want to see Zendaya. And I want to see her look good and in a cool fit and playing some tennis.
Do you think that attributed to Challenger's success, the method dressing of it all?
I think so. I think it puts something in your mind. Like she's kind of playing a character in a way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, who is she? Like, I know that's Zendaya, but I'm also like, who is she representing? Like, what does this all mean?
Yeah, what is this going to be about? It does like subconsciously plant in your brain, like, I have to investigate. I have to see Challengers.
Yeah, it's like, I just want to know more. And then she keeps like repeatedly coming out in like tennis inspired outfits or like nods to the movie. And
I know, what's your favorite look?
Whew. Well, I do like the Loewe, the dress.
Ooh, the dress with the trompe-l'oeil?
Yeah.
Trompe-l'oeil?
Yes. It's got like the shadow of, I think it's art hitting the ball over the net, I'm pretty sure. It's green. It's like she's the grass on the, is it a field?
Yeah. Or the turf?
The turf? Yeah, I don't know.
And yeah. I mean, Zendaya looks like a model as is, but yeah, it's like she's wearing these art pieces and her body is the canvas.
I like the Louis Vuitton outfit too from the spring, but it's by Marc Jacobs from spring 2013.
It's very mod. It's also quintessential to this time. I think we're going to look back and look at that Louis Vuitton checkered number and think of Challengers.
I think
oddly
so.
enough. It's like an A to C thing, again with the genius marketing.
Yeah, I don't know why more movies don't do that. Because I think too with Barbie, like if we're just talking about like method dressing.
Pink.
Yeah. Seeing Margot Robbie, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to see this.
You're like, what Barbie is she going to reference? And this is, it's like you're looking at the green and you're like, oh, tennis.
Yeah, they use a lot of green in the Challengers press cycle. I feel green and white.
Honestly, I don't
Yellow.
think there's a miss. I love every single Zendaya look. And, you know, her like mainstays, obviously Loewe. Because J.W. Anderson did do the costume design. And also on the Met, like gala this year, we also saw like the two boys, Mike Feist and Josh O'Connor, wearing Loewe. And they're kind of like poster children for Loewe and like the men's realm.
Ooh.
But Zendaya is also ambassador of Louis Vuitton. So she wears a lot of Louis.
Louis.
Yes.
I don't.
And
That's it.
She even wears a lot of Bulgari jewelry. There's that one,
She does.
like, not bolo tie, but that one necklace she wore with the suit.
She an ambassador for them too?
Oh. Yep. She did those Bulgari ads with Anne Hathaway.
With Anne Hathaway? Really?
Oh my God, they look great.
Ooh. Is this it? Wow. They look like they're in like a, we just saw Ocean's 8. It reminds me of something like that.
Definitely.
Ocean's 9. Yes. Our dreams.
Anne Hathaway is definitely channeling her Daphne.
Yeah. That's wild seeing them just in the same space.
Yeah. Like oddly looking very similar, but I love it. It's gorgeous. But yeah. Any other highlights?
I mean, this one's like really casual, but I remember seeing it and liking it. It's it's Louis Vuitton again.
It's so funny. You're really attracted to the LV looks, and I'm very attracted to the Loewe look.
Yeah, I noticed.
Fire and ice.
I know.
Who's fire? Who's ice?
I don't know. I feel like I'd probably be ice.
I know. I'm like Brie. You have to guess. Like I'm Patrick.
I know. I'll just pretend like I don't know.
You're like secretly plotting, just like art. I'm on to you, Brie.
I'm plotting always. I'm like just waiting for the churro.
Mrs. Steal Your Girl.
Oh. But yeah, I like the yellow sweater, the Louis Vuitton sweater, where it has like a cutout. Well, it has a very deep. Wait. Okay, I guess there is some mesh there. Sorry, I didn't even notice. So I thought it was just an open like V sweater.
Right. Oh, this is from the original like promo for Challengers, because this movie was supposed to come out last year.
Oh.
And because of the SAG-AFTRA strike, they had to postpone it. Postpone the release. But yes, that's the like OG Challengers like promo.
Well, I like it. It has like sexy cutouts, but it's also like it looks like a country club kind of sweater, but like revamped. And she has like her bob, and like she's wearing some type of tennis pants or something. I don't know. Windbreakers.
Oh my God. Why is the tennis outfit or like tennis fashion so inherently chic?
I don't know.
Is it because it comes from like the leisure and upper class like origins?
Maybe.
Is it all those like, I don't know, things it implicates like being upper class, or I don't know, being wealthy enough to keep white crisp?
I wonder. I do feel like tennis is one of those sports. Like, well, it's not exactly like golf, but I don't know why I think of like country clubs. Don't they do sports? Like leisure sports?
Pickleball.
Yeah, maybe pickleball. Tennis is not a leisure sport is what I'm learning from this film.
Not anymore. I really think the new status symbol is pickleball.
Yeah. Nikki, I was on a trip and I saw this tote bag and I came close to getting it for you.
Challengers. And
now that we've seen Challengers, I'm like, maybe I should have, but it's pickleball. It's not the same as tennis.
Have you seen that line at Target where it's like it looks like it's, Challengers inspired or like tennis inspired, but then you inspect it closely and it's all pickleball. No. It's like pickleball totes, pickleball outfits, pickleball balls.
Are we going to become pickleball girlies?
I don't
know.
No,
it's not the same, is it?
To be honest, why not just play tennis?
Mm-hmm.
Because isn't
be a man and play tennis?
Be a man and play tennis. Because isn't like tennis has all these complicated rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think pickleball has that.
Probably has no rules.
You're opting no. That's tennis appropriation.
Yeah. Shut him down, Nick. Just
overrated. See you later, pickleball.
Oh, that's disappointing though. You got me amped up. You were like, Target has like tennis attire. Nope.
It's pickleball.
Man.
But
I want to get me like a sporty skirt.
Ooh. Oh my God, I want a windbreaker. Like 80s style wind.
Yes.
I want to
dress. You want
like,
the top and bottoms?
Totally. I want to dress like Andre Agassi in the 80s. I want to wear like a sweatband across my head. I want to get like fluffy George Michael Wham hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live your dream, Nick. I support this.
Yeah. Totally. You might be like, no, Nikki, that was not a good call.
Next time I see you, you're going to be dressed like that.
Or like I'm very inspired by Patrick's style in this film.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I should probably be more inspired by Tashi.
Yeah.
But
it's okay. I mean, I do like her outfits.
I'm a big fan. And I loved Challengers. I love everything about it. I'm going to see it again. And maybe again.
Maybe again. Do you think this is one you'll want to add to your collection?
Definitely. And I'm going to rewatch Call Me By Your Name. And maybe go see, maybe like rent Bones and All now.
I know. I am intrigued by some of like the other films.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bones and All.
A Bigger Splash. Is that called? A Big Splash?
That one's also part of that, like, because Call Me By Your Name was like in a trilogy, right? Wasn't it like the last film?
Was it? I'm not super familiar with Luca Guadagnino's early work.
Okay, it says, he has a Desire trilogy, I guess, which consists of the films I Am Love, A Bigger Splash, and Call Me By Your Name. So, I Am Love was 2009.
Nice.
Bigger Splash is 2015. I want to see Suspiria.
I do too.
It's a horror, which I'm intrigued because I want to see what his take is on horror films.
Definitely. It's Dakota Johnson.
Yes.
It's like a remake.
I think Tilda Swinton's in that one too. And she's worked with him a lot, apparently. Mia Goth is going to be in that, so. Is in that, not going to be. It's already made. This film is already made. I don't know why I'm talking about it like it's coming out. Like
it's going to be new to you.
It's going to be new to me.
It's not new to the world, but it's new to you.
But yeah, it seems like it's kind of stylized. I don't know. So yeah, I'm intrigued.
Great. That's awesome. No, I don't know. I loved everything about this film. The directing, the actors, just this movie in general. Just its tension.
Yes, I loved how it built tension. That music's still playing in my head.
Oh yes, the Match Point final song.
Yeah,
just constantly. That's the new Saltburn. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Definitely, yeah. It does kind of rival Saltburn with the soundtrack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dare I say it's better than Saltburn, though?
You think so? What about Murder on the Dance Floor, Nick?
Oh, not favorite? The soundtrack.
Oh, not just the score?
The film.
Okay.
Nothing beats Murder on the Dance Floor.
Okay, I was like, wait a second.
Don't get it twisted, but no, I'm smitten with Challengers.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts on the film?
I loved it. It had me. I mean, the whole time. I couldn't look away. So I feel like that is like the ultimate test of a good film.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, Brie?
Yeah.
I think Challengers was point, set, match. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Late to the Party is hosted by Nikki Jensen and Brie Picconi. Our podcast is produced by Grace Dunbar and edited by Brie.
That's me. Thanks for listening. Make sure to rate and review us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next week. Bye.